Welcome back to Path of the Draft. In this episode, we'll be looking at the inside midfielder pig from South Australia, Dyson Sharp. So right off the top of the bat, Dyson Sharp was touted to go in the top three at the start of the year. He's pushed down the pecking order a little bit, but he's a top 15 pick, like pretty much. And you're probably thinking, so if he's a top 15 pick, Luke, why are you making a video on him? Well, I wasn't going to. I'd love the kid and everything, how he goes about it. He's one of the most exciting players in his draft class. But on Gettable, Cal Toomey said this.
He could get through a few other spots, but I do think the clubs will come at that point to try and get into the board, including Collingwood. If he's there a little bit later, I think Collingwood is a watch to see if they can get up and get Dyson Sharp. He makes them better next year.
Collingwood very interested in Dyson Sharp. Like Cal Toomey said, he already would make us better if he is in our midfield next season. Inside mid, that grunt, we were going after Simpkin, Oliver. We've lost Tom Mitchell. I'll keep saying this till the cows come home. Ned Long isn't that typical inside mid that Tom Mitchell was. Everything that we need in our team right now and to build with Nick for the next 10, 15 years, hopefully, is Dyson Sharp. But before we even go into his strengths, weaknesses, all this sort of stuff, how the hell are we going to get him? Now, on Gettable as well, Cal Toomey also said this.
A trade, but it could be player dependent. And then this is the difficult part because clubs are going to have to go in blind if they're going to have to make that trade if it's player dependent.
It can't be player dependent, can it? Because of where the bid's going to fall.
You can narrow it, but the same for Collingwood. I think they've got interest in that pick too, as well, and shifting up the board. But it would be about a player being on the board at that point. Are they going to know that? Probably not.
Like we've known since the trade weeks, trade couple of weeks, Collingwood wanted to move up into, higher into the draft. Now, Carlton are willing to part with their pick 9. They have to match bids for Ison and for Dean as well. So they're probably not going to use that pick. They've got other picks that they can use and they'll move back and all these draft points and all this sort of stuff. Now, that's where Collingwood come into play. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but if we can nab Carlton's pick 9, that would just be absolutely huge. But the thing is with nabbing pick 9, it doesn't become pick 9. Pick 9 gets pushed back because in that top 10, there's at least 3 or 4 academy kids. Harry Dean, that Carlton are going after, their father's son, could be in the top 10, top 12 even. So everything will be pushed back. That pick 9 could probably become pick 14 or 15. So it's not a top 10 pick anymore. On paper, if this was to happen before anything and academies and all that draft picks and stuff, bids happen, yes, it's a top 9 pick, but it gets pushed back to a pick 15. And I think the biggest thing around there, just like Cal Toomey said, is we would only be going for that pick if there's a player on the board before Carlton, obviously use up that pick. If there's a player on the board that we still want. If we're trying to push up to get a Dyson Sharp and he's not there, I dare say we're probably not going to pursue it as hard, but there could be another guy on there that we haven't talked about, that no one's really talked about yet, that we could be going after. So we're going to be live streaming draft night 1. I think it'll just be fun. Anyway, it falls on a Wednesday during the Nest, so that's going to be fun. So maybe Collingwood can do something a little bit exciting. So let's look at Dyson Sharp. Now, ESPN on their final footy rankings have him at number 5. Fox Footy have him around number 10. So top 10, one of the best players, one of the best 18-year-old players in the draft and in Australia at the moment. And this guy brings leadership. He, great tackling machine, a contested beast. They call him the inside mid pig. That's a bit of a rhyme. Inside mid pig. Say that quickly 5 times. And the way he goes about his game, he's one of those guys that says, get on my back. We're going all the way. I'm going to pull a win out of my butt and we're gonna win this game. Everyone just follow my lead. And that's exactly what you want. And for someone who's 18 years old to kind of stick out their chest and say that, What more could you ask for? So look at this for a resume. So a standout in the under-16s national championships for South Australia, won the Kevin Sheehan medal. He captained South Australia's under-18s. And then in 2025, so this year, not only did he lead South Australia to their first title in 7 years, but he also won the championship MVP, which is huge. He breaks into the senior side as well for Central Districts. This kid can absolutely do it all. And that resume is, one of the best, if not the best, in his draft class. So his strengths and weaknesses. So they're saying that he is one of the purest inside mids or just purest midfielders in his draft. In the under-18s championships, he averaged 11.3 contested possessions and 6 clearances per game. Doesn't shy away from a tackle or a contest, and he's just second to none when it comes to contested ball winning. His second strength is his physicality. He's strong and he doesn't shy away from a contest. Sharp is also a natural born leader. Like I said, he captained South Australia at multiple levels. So not just one, multiple levels. His work ethic has been praised by every one of his coaches, and that team first attitude, putting the team on his back and going for that win. Sharp just ticks every single box that you're looking for a midfielder who's ready to go day one. Now, his area for improvements is his running capabilities. Like I said in my video previously when we were looking at Sam Swadling, was that in the Collingwood system, if you can't run, you're not going to play with us. He can run, but he just needs to get up his capacity to keep running. His numbers are low. He does get the clean hands, but is that what do you really need a super high runner? Like, look at Tom Mitchell, right? Did really, really well, was instrumental for our 2023 premiership. Not the best runner, but what he could do around the contested ball was why we got him in. I feel like Dyson Sharp is of the same vein there. Really clean hands, a little bit clunky with his kicking, and he will get his anaerobic capacity up as well. So how does he fit into Collingwood's needs? Well, if it wasn't clear, Collingwood are lacking a midfielder who's going to get their hands dirty and be the kind of player that can lead the next generation of Collingwood. And I feel like Dyson Sharp literally ticks all of those boxes. He complements Nick, Josh, if he goes into the engine room, Bo McCreary when he's in there as well. And he could even complement Ned Long. We just don't have this inside mid player who's going to step up in the absence of a Tom Mitchell or in the absence, even for argument's sake, even Taylor Adams a couple of years ago, who was just going to put their head right into the thick of it. And Dyson Sharp, with his leadership skills, with the way he goes about his football, would be that guy. Like I said from the outset, it's going to be probably near impossible to get Dyson Sharp, but crazier things have happened. Now, Essendon have 2 picks before us. Melbourne have a couple of picks. I don't think he's going to go top 5 or top 6, but like I said, those picks do get pushed up a little bit. So expect on draft night Collingwood to do something. It's been talked about and rumored and whispered for so long that we want to push higher up into the draft. How do we get there? I have no idea, but Carlton might need picks for bids if they are to get rid of their pick 9. So that could be something. I just think that Collingwood could be cooking up. Well, I don't know if I think it or if I want to think it, because I don't want to, sit on our hands on draft night. And we have done that before where we have moved up the draft a little bit, not into the top 10 or anything like that. But we could do that. We could play a little bit into that. Maybe with our 2027 first rounder. I don't think we're going to give away that 2026 first rounder just yet because of the butters and all that sort of stuff. But if Dyson was to fall to us, I just feel like it'll be, Essendon will probably be looking at him. Melbourne as well, because they have lost a lot of contested players there. Clayton Oliver being the big one. A little bit of Petrarca on the outside. He's an Essendon supporter. He'd love to go to Essendon. But if he could fall to us, this kid could win the NAB Rising Star Award next season. But again, it might be impossible to get him. But let me know your thoughts down below. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Path to the Draft. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.